Hey there! So we are about to start our road trip. Family road trip out to Mount Whitney. Hey Dad!
Hi.
We got Dad Jeremy getting ready to hit the road. There's Miss Genevieve and her younger sister by 2 minutes, Monroe over there. 11 weeks old, ready to hit the road. Taking the trusty Subaru up to Mount Whitney, which if you didn't know is
the tallest mountain in the lower 48.
Perfect. And we've already taken the girls on a couple road trips, so they overall like the car. So we'll keep you updated. We're right now kind of coming out of the pass where there's windmills through Tehachapi, out into more of the open desert. Out here we've got Edwards Air Force Base, of course, NASA. So you can see we also have Joshua trees out here. A couple essentials, as most of you probably know, for a good road trip. First of all, good company. We clearly brought it. Oh, yes, exactly. In the back, the girls are actually napping, so that's great. Another good thing is sleep, which of course we don't really get anymore because we're new parents of twins. So now sleep is not one of those nice things to have as you hit a road trip, but you know, we'll do what we can. And of course, snacks. You gotta have a good soundtrack. So Jeremy sets the soundtrack for us as we go too.
It's 99 degrees.
Yeah, that's the other beautiful part, is we're going somewhere to actually cool down a little bit. As we drive through the desert.
In the time of COVID too.
Exactly.
Sign here.
Oh. Exactly. I mean, that's why everywhere you go now. Social distancing, masks. So we're about to enter Red Rock Canyon, which is a pretty cool area we've been to a couple times before. It's got, of course, that cool red color where it gets its name as it erodes. Kern County is actually 8,000 square miles, making it one of the largest counties actually in America. It's like 20th in America. Here in California, I think it's just behind San Bernardino County for size. So it's got a ton of different terrain, everything from what you see out here, the Red Rock Canyons in the desert, where we live up in the mountains by Tehachapi. Then a lot of agriculture, of course. Kern County, Bakersfield area is known for. So right now we're looking at the eastern side of the Sierras. The last time we were out in this direction, I was about 10 weeks pregnant with the girls, and now ironically, they're about 11 weeks old. And we went out to Yosemite that time.
Oh, in my team.
Holy cow, that made me jump. Do I have time? I know. There was a very brief wake up by Jen. But overall, they're sleeping and happy. They like to be in motion. How's the drive going?
Pretty good.
How's the licorice?
It's my favorite. It's good.
I like black licorice. How do you feel about black licorice?
It's terrible.
Aww. A little over half an hour to go. Look at the temperature now. 104 degrees.
Mountains are getting bigger.
Yep, mountains are getting bigger and we actually have clouds. Clouds! So over on this side again, we have the Sierras, Sequoia National Forest. We're here, Death Valley. Jeremy was pointing out a little bit earlier. Let's see. You zoom way out there. That dry, sandy area stretches a long ways is actually Owens Lake, which of course is now dry because they diverted it to, well, essentially help build Los Angeles into what it is now. So we actually just crossed over the aqueduct. So that's what happens. What used to be an agricultural area here and a huge lake, Owens Lake, has now turned into a dry lake bed. You're from, of course, back east too. You were mentioning earlier a little bit about what it feels like to drive in these type of expanses of land out here west.
Yeah, this is so open. Out east, everything's close in. You have a lot of trees. You can only see a few miles out to the distance, ordinarily. It's because your view is obstructed by all the trees. But out here, it's just wide open.
Now, I, however, did grow up out here west, in Washington, Montana, of course, California. I was living in some Kansas and Illinois, the Midwest, so kind of used to big mountains, but I mean, even these are pretty big. Mount Whitney is what they call, again, 14er.
Yep, one of the 14ers.
People like to climb those. I like to hike around the base. And by that I mean slowly amble. No, a little hiking's alright. We're almost there, girls. 4 minutes out to Lone Pine, where we're staying. So we did see the sign on the way in that said face coverings required in Inyo County. Alright, we're now at the Airbnb, and we're happy to say that the girls are thoroughly enjoying the pack and play. Yeah, you like the pack and play, huh? We brought one, and they actually already had one here. So now it's time to go check into Mount Whitney Portal, see how the mountain's doing.
Yeah, check out the area. And we'll check this place out on the way back, Alabama Hills.
Girls are just chilling right now. Both awake. They enjoyed their little break.
Alright, so we're starting at 100 degrees. Temperature is like when we get up there.
I think one thing that happens when you're a parent is you don't pull over quite as many times as we would have back in the day.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, the kids don't have quite the same amount of patience that we would do for pullovers.
What are we looking at here?
Yeah, no, exactly. They really question too many stops.
You get an idea of what those pilots see when they're flying through this valley here.
It's quite the view. I love California for all the different trains it has. Wow, we're already at like 7,300 basically.
And climbing.
Climbing fast.
Only another mile to go. Still 80, that's pretty cool.
Oh, but we dropped more than 20 degrees. We started at what, 102? Probably like 3,000 feet elevation. We are ending at about 8,077 degrees. We are going to go for a little walk. The girls are in their carriers, which they usually love, so yeah, it's a nice temperature. Let's go head up towards Whitney Portal. So we just did a little bit of a hike. I didn't record all of that because didn't want to trip for sure. How do you think the girls felt about it?
I think they love it.
I think so too. They like being in motion. In fact, right now Monroe's like, why am I not moving? And I'm pretty sure Jen feels the same way. Yeah. Eventually you'll also see this as your first hike. Baby's first hike. Alright, this is where I have at least called it. We made it a decent way up though.
Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and head back down the trail. Girls loved it. Successful first hike. Alright, so right before we headed out, had to check out the waterfall. Beautiful. Baby dance.
Sleepy baby.
So now we are in the Alabama Hills. Came here off of Movie Flat Road. Mobius Arch.
Hey. Hey. Oh. What you think? What you think about the Alabama Hills? You like traveling? Yeah? No? Yeah? You're just like, yeah. What do you think? What? Traveling baby?
Are we ready to go?
Yeah, we're ready.
All right, after a nice night at the Airbnb, Genevieve, Monroe, let's go ahead and hit the road. Bye, baby. Well, our first stop today is at Manzanar. Now, if you haven't heard of it before, this is where many Japanese were sent during World War II. Internment camps, thousands of them. 2/3 of them were actually American citizens and were forced to stay in here until the end of World War II. These are recreations of the buildings they had to stay in. That's the visitor center, which is of course closed right now because of COVID. But of course a historic site up here by the Sierras. Congress made this a historic site and reconstructed some of the buildings. So you spent some time in Japan too, so tell us a little bit of the significance of what we're looking at behind us.
So when I was in Japan, in Okinawa, there's several sites you can visit that are shrines all over the country, and oftentimes they mark places of significance with pillars like this to remember their dead family members, and a place of quiet contemplation and remember the families.
Taking a quick little stop up here at Horseshoe Meadows. We are at nearly how many feet elevation right now?
About 10,000.
Yeah, this is really high. It was quite the drive up, and you're going to get to see the drive down. You can feel the change in elevation, but yeah, it's been fun. We're going to head on home now. I also have to mention on this drive up, definitely a little bit of fear of heights going for me. Just a little bit. He did a beautiful job driving though. But yeah, this is quite the climb. It's almost like the going to the Sun Road glacier we were talking about. And you said this also reminded you of
a lot of Colorado.
Rockies of Montana for me. So, but yeah, definitely something to see. Remember remember Genevieve and Monroe? You girls were up here, 2.5 months old. All right, we are reversing into our garage. You were just saying...
It's amazing how far you can travel in a day.
It really is. So, babies had a good trip. We had a good trip. And we'll see you next time.